Good morning. Welcome to Second Unitarian Church. I am Rama Kumanduri, Chair of the Church's Finance Committee, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. Today we are in person at the Admiral at the Lake and the 2U Sanctuary, and continuing to meet virtually using Zoom. We ask everyone's indulgence for the complications of the three-part service. We are glad you are here, regardless of your mode of attending. If you are joining today via Zoom, instructions for closed captioning and chat are in your order of service. When we would traditionally sing together and read things in unison, you are encouraged to do so as well, even though you are either masked or on mute. Our voices echo through the world, so we'll hear one another if we listen closely and sing with our full spirit. We are paying close attention to COVID recommendations. This could mean changes at any time. But for now, we recognize that masking and physical distancing are acts of love and protection. Please see the 2U website for our most recent COVID recommendation. We especially welcome newcomers and visitors this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be challenging. Please know that we are excited to have you and look forward to getting to know you. If you are new to us today, please note that in a Zoom chat or mention it in person during chats after the service. Our worship today is led by Reverend Jason Ledden, our settled minister, along with Mary Ellen Steindler as our worship associate. Music this morning is provided by our acting director of music, Carl Kennedy, and Lara Payton. Our time together requires a large group of people who make worship possible, the music and the technical production. They are listed in the order of service, and we thank them for their ongoing service to our congregation. I have a couple of announcements for you this morning. Firstly, I wanted to let you know that we learned of a church member who attended the finance town hall on Sunday, 1 week ago, who tested positive for COVID. This person wore a mask the whole time, but we wanted to make sure folks knew about this potential exposure. Fortunately, this person is being well cared for. If you have questions, please reach out to Reverend Jason. Next Sunday is our annual meeting. It would be wonderful to have everyone participate, whether you do so via Zoom or in person at the sanctuary. Childcare will be available. During the meeting, we'll vote on our annual budget, a slate of candidates put forward by the nominating committee, and the 8th principle. You can find annual reports online, and we'll make a limited number of paper copies available. This Tuesday is the monthly meeting of our social justice ministry. There is lots going on, and your effort and energy would be welcome. The meeting begins at 7 p.m. and happens over Zoom. You can find info on the church calendar or reach out to Bob Michael or Jonah Bondurant. You can find more information and additional announcements in the order of service. I now welcome Mary Ellen Steindler, today's worship associate, to lead our call to worship.
We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things that we believe, but the values we share. Whether you are joining us for the first time or for the 1000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you now to take a breath in and out. As the music begins, let us enter into our service together.
Shall we gather at the river, where bright angel feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God. Yes, we will gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we will gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God.
Thank you, Rob. Beautiful. In just a moment, Harris at the Admiral and I here in the sanctuary will light our chalices, the symbol of our faith. And we light our chalices this morning with these words from Joy Harjo, words you will hear again later in the service. There were many beauties in this age, for everything was immensely itself. Harris, would you join me in lighting our chalices?
Please rise in spirit or body and join in singing hymn number 1002, Comfort Me. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me.
Excuse me. Please join me in reciting our covenant. The words are on your screen. I hope. There we go. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest in our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living tradition, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our inner convictions through struggles for justice and acts of compassion.
Now we will sing Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
You can be seated. It's so nice to hear everyone singing together. What a joy. This is a time where I like to invite those who are young in age or young at heart to come forward and hang out with me if you would like, but you're also welcome to stay in your seats if that's what you prefer. I know we're a smaller crowd this morning. Give me just a minute. All right. Well, this then is a conversation for everybody. And I'm wondering how many of you heard some hard or bad news this week? You can raise your hand if you did. What are things that you do when there's bad or scary news that makes you feel safer, that makes you feel protected? Anyone can speak out, and I will just say back what you said so that everyone can hear. Reach out to family, a great way of making ourselves feel safe and connected when things feel scary. Eat, yes, absolutely. Eat those feelings, eat them. They are delicious. Absolutely. Call congressman, absolutely. Don't read the news. Take a break. Everyone needs a break from it. Read poetry. Shower yourself in other words. Listen to music. Can create a sense of safety, moment of comfort, like the hymn we just sang together. What else makes you feel safe? Meditating. Allow those thoughts to pass through, being mindful to the moment. Absolutely important things for making us feel safe. Anything else make you feel safe? Have a good cry, absolutely. That's healthy for your whole body, releasing toxins out of your eyes. It's a very comforting, relaxing, and freeing process. Anybody yell? I do some yelling, particularly in my car when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with upset that things aren't what I want them to be. Say it again, Esther. I couldn't hear you. Nausea? Feeling sick makes you, yeah, it's one of the things that happens when we hear the news. We can feel sick. Yes. One of the reasons we come to church is to do the work of helping each other feel safe, that we are promising, covenanting to come together and care for one another, knowing that the world is full of scary and yet also beautiful things. We promise to be in this space or together virtually or sitting at the Admiral, knowing that we have this deep love and affection for one another so that we can hopefully cultivate and nurture a sense of safety. We have workshops going on right now about creating brave space, that in addition to safe spaces where we can just feel nurtured, so too are we stepping into brave spaces where we take risks together. And so hopefully as we move forward through this week and the weeks ahead, we can keep practicing safety and bravery. I want to transition us to remind us that each year we all make a commitment, a pledge to support the ministry of this, our congregation. In addition to this contribution, each Sunday we take a collection so that we can share with those who are doing great work beyond our walls. One of the things we have noticed, though, is since we don't pass around a collection plate and we're not all on Zoom, sometimes we are forgetting that this is an okay time to take your phone out at church. And you will shortly see a phone number on the screen, and there's a number in your order of service so that you can make your contributions. For the month of May, we have been sharing our plate with the Jane Addams Senior Caucus, and it's been wonderful to hear from them the last few weeks. Though this morning, as we do on the last Sunday of each month, we will hear from someone doing work ministry in our church, and we will hear some words this morning from Rama.
Good morning again. I want to speak a few minutes about the Finance Committee. It's one of the standing committees at 2U and assists the board in looking after the congregation's finances. So the current membership is, we have Laura McKee, John Hook, Lana Grubick, Monique Hansen, Lynn Lockwood, and myself as members of the Finance Committee. The treasurer is always a member of the committee, and we also invite the senior pastor and the board chair to all the meetings. This year, because of the capital campaign, we've also had Tom Denayo and Mary Helen Steindler from the capital campaign steering committee attend a lot of the meetings, so they are sort of honorary members of the Finance Committee. So the committee's responsibilities are, we meet monthly to review the income and expenses at the congregation, look at that against the budget, and then propose any changes to the board. So the board makes the decisions regarding the finances, and the Finance Committee reviews those, and the treasurer is part of the board and will take any recommendations from the committee to the board. We prepare the forecast for the current fiscal year, so we see how the income and expenses are lining up to see where the budget will end when we close the books for the year at the end of June, and then again recommend suitable action to the board. So if there is a surplus that might get moved to the building fund, or last year we recommended that the surplus be used to fund, pre-fund some of the minister's sabbatical expenses that may come up in a few years. So those are decisions that the board would make based on the Finance Committee's recommendations. We prepare the budget for the fiscal year, and then that's submitted for approval by the board and then by the congregation at the annual meeting. We have the annual meeting next week for the congregation to review and approve the budget. So this process includes, setting a target for the annual canvas, which is our members' contributions via the pledge process that funds most of our operations. And then based on the needs of the congregation in terms of hiring, additional services, committee requests, that sets the goal for the annual canvas. And the Finance Committee sort of leads in the effort to raise funds through the canvas. We also plan the fundraising events such as the Fall Fest. I mean, there is a separate committee that leads the Fall Fest, but the finance committee is a key part of that. And then the other thing the finance committee will do is review all the procedures, the statements, the reporting. I mean, we have a skilled congregational administrator and an external bookkeeper. And a lot of things are electronic these days, but the review needs to be done, and the finance committee will conduct a periodic audit of all the records. So we've also been working with the Capital Campaign Steering Committee and to work with a bank to set in process a bridge loan for the construction that is planned as part of the capital campaign. So the committee is looking for additional members to join for the next few years. Monique Hansen will be leaving the committee at the end of the fiscal year after several years of outstanding service. If you're interested in joining the committee, please speak to me or one of the members during the coffee hour, or email me, or contact me on the Zoom chat. My contacts are on the Breeze website. And finally, the committee also has a lot of fun. We have a year-end barbecue, and we plan other social events. So if you want to get invited to this year's barbecue, and we do, you can join the committee. Yeah, thank you.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our offertory words. The words are printed in your order of service and are on the screen. This church is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
I invite you, wherever it is that you are, here in the sanctuary, at the Admiral, at home, to join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Let's begin by breathing together. Try relaxing the muscles in your shoulders. Release the tension in your neck. Attend to the muscles in your jaw, letting them loosen gently. We begin in thanks. Thankful for the breath in our lungs, the beauty of our earth, and the strength of this community. We hold in our hearts those who care for family in ill health, those who live with grief or chronic pain, those struggling with addiction or illness, seen and unseen, we are with you. For parents and teachers and all those whose primary spiritual practice is the care of children, we are with you. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those who are struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty, we are with you. We pray for all those living in harm's way and know that what that is keeps expanding. We pray for our planet and commit to work that will lead us away from the harms of climate chaos. As war rages on, we pray that wisdom, compassion, and empathy guide the leaders of our world. May they and we be instruments of a just and lasting peace. Our lives are truly blessed by those who knowingly, with curiosity and courage, face their final days. And into this, our shared silence across space, I invite you now to speak the name of anyone you wish to lift up into the loving support of our community. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and unnamed, those remembered and those forgotten. Let it be so. Amen and blessed be. During our ritual of candle lighting for joys and concerns, we want to continue to maintain our safety with each other. So in the 2U sanctuary, you're invited to come forward and light a candle. As you end your time of contemplation and candle lighting, we invite you to use the hand sanitizer. For those of us at the Admiral, I invite you to come forward to take a pebble from one bowl, hold it tightly, putting your energy into the stone, and then knowing your joys and sorrows to be shared by this community, let it go lightly into the other bowl. For our friends on Zoom, join us by sharing your joys and concerns in our chat window. And I will light 2 candles here, one representing all our unspoken joys, and another, all our unspoken sorrows. You may come forward. we hold all of these, our shared joys, celebrations, sorrows, and struggles close to our hearts. Mary Helen, would you share our first reading, please?
Our first reading is a poem entitled The Life of Beauty by Joy Harjo. The sung blessing of creation led her into the human story. That was the first beauty. Next beauty was the sound of her mother's voice rippling the waters beneath the drumming skin of her birthing cocoon. Next beauty, the father with kindness in his hands as he held the newborn against his breathing. Next beauty, the moon through a dark window. It was a rocking horse, a wish. There were many beauties in this age, for everything was immensely itself. Green, greener than the impossibility of green, the taste of wind after it slide through dew grass at dawn, our language running through a tangle of wordlessness in her mouth. She ate well of the next beauty. Next beauty planted itself urgently beneath the warrior shrines. Next was beauty beaded by her mother and pinned neatly to hold back her hair. Then how tendrils of fire longing grew into her, beautiful the flower between her legs as she became herself. Do not forget this beauty, she was told. The story took her far away from beauty. In the tests of her living, beauty was often long from the reach of her mind and spirit. When she forgot beauty, all was brutal. But beauty always came to lift her up, to stand again. When it was beautiful all around and within, she knew herself to be cornplant, moon, and sunrise. Death is beautiful, she sang as she left this story behind her. Even her bones, said time, were tuned to beauty.
Thank you, Mary Helen. Our second reading this morning is from Reverend Eric Ressley. The beauty of the world is the mouth of a labyrinth, writes Simone Weil. We would be foolish not to follow its call. And so we enter the labyrinth lured by the whiff of a dream still in the making, the possibility of a new relationship, the promise of a new career, the potential for a new beginning. We can never be sure what we will find once inside, but this much is certain. There will be times when the beauty of the world, and with it the entrance to the labyrinth, unexpectedly disappear. Some relationships will disintegrate, some careers will dissatisfy, some beginnings will disappoint. Unable to find the labyrinth's opening, we often find ourselves in frantic search of an escape, fumbling for the next step, tiring ourselves out in the process. Disheartened, dispirited, we feel disoriented. We get lost. The question is not whether we will get lost in life, but rather how we will move through it in faith. Will we dwell on everything that we have lost, or will we focus instead on everything that we have yet to find? As it happens, there is much that awaits us in our lostness, much to be excavated and examined, even exalted. In not yet knowing what will be, we are afforded the opportunity to appreciate what already is, the things hiding in plain sight. A frayed relationship, for example, may reveal our deeper needs. An unfulfilled career may motivate us to seek out a mentor. A misstart or a misstep may remind us of our own fragile humanity. It may claw open our hearts and sensitize us to the sufferings of others. When lost, perhaps the greatest question our faith asks us is this: how will we be found? Once the time is ripe, the stars align, and ways begin to open, will we be ready to embrace the mystery anew? Will we choose to trust anew, to risk anew, to hope anew? Will we allow ourselves to yet again be drawn in, swept up, taken over by that magic that makes life worth living? In the words of Simone Weil, for if we do not lose courage, if we go on walking, it is absolutely certain that we will finally arrive at the center of the labyrinth. And there, God or love is waiting. Let us hear our anthem.
Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain, and I'm so ashamed. But I am beautiful no matter what they say, and words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh no. So don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious. You're so consumed in all your gloom. You're trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone, left the puzzle undone. And you are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. You are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. Oh no. So don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, we're the song inside the tune, full of beautiful mistakes. And everywhere we go, the sun will always shine, and tomorrow we might wake, 'cause we are beautiful in every single way. And words can't bring us down. Yes, we are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring us down. No. So don't you bring me down. today. Mm. Mm. Don't you bring us down today.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. More Christina Aguilera at church is always the right answer. I want to begin with the words of Reverend Karen Johnston. What to do with beauty, or joy for that matter, in the midst of tragedy or violence or cruelty? What do we do with the living? Give each their due. Do not lose ourselves in any of it, but find ourselves anew. Where there is beauty, amplify it. Where beauty is hidden, reveal it. Where beauty is ruined, restore it. Where beauty is absent, create it. This will be our gift to our aching world. Our aching world. Imagine you're feeling some of that ache right now. How devastating to listen to the news this week and hear of yet another preventable shooting. Mourners have not even finished burying their loved ones in Buffalo, and now Texas has rows of child-sized coffins. We will hear and engage in debates about gun policy, mental illness, racism, police practices, and as we do, we must also stop. We must breathe. We must weep. We must hold ourselves and one another close. We must do all of this even as we know there are no right words or simple actions that will make everything all better. All of our feelings are okay. Maybe you feel rage and anger, or maybe you're struggling to feel anything other than numb because the violence of daily life has become almost mundane. Maybe you felt scared dropping your children, grandchildren, or sweet young ones off at school this week. Imagine you hugged them just a smidge tighter than usual. Maybe you noticed yourself having less patience and that the stresses you normally triumph over became insurmountable this week. However you may have felt, the many collections of feelings you may have experienced, our faith calls us to remember that in the face of heartache, so too is there abundant beauty and love. Maybe you are getting moments to feel that love. I hope that you are. While we can't make everything all better by being together, we can journey with one another through these hardest moments. Where beauty has been ruined, we restore it. Where beauty does not exist, we create it. I would even dare to say that what we are doing right now, our collective worship experience, this is part of how we create beauty, especially when it feels almost impossible to do so. The Soul Matters theme for the month of May is focused on beauty. Each of us approaches the beautiful differently. We can encounter the same moment and experience that beauty in different ways. Philosophers and theologians have been reckoning with how humans perceive the beautiful for millennia. There is far more written in the field of aesthetics than we could possibly go over in just one sermon. However, in preparation for today, I read some of Francois Julian's thoughts on beauty. He is a present-day French philosopher who writes extensively about how humans engage with beauty. I want to share a couple of his observations with you. In one part of his writing, he is highlighting how trivial we might treat that which we call beautiful. What am I doing when I say, how beautiful, he questions. I'm indeed defining. At once I am distinguishing and underlining, I am designating and promoting, but perhaps also, even as I do so, I put away, put apart, and rid myself of it. The beautiful carves and detaches. It wants to carry you away. But once this judgment has been pronounced, we're freed from it. As when we take a photograph and place it in a box. The tourists return to their coach with a sense of relief at the appointment with the beautiful that they have just checked off. Beauty is not always an all-encompassing moment of awe. Sometimes we consume beauty quickly and rush off to the next thing. We're told to stop and smell the roses, but even if we do stop, how long do we allow ourselves to dwell in the beauty of the moment? Are we quick to snap a picture and move along? I know that I certainly do this. In the age of Instagram, I know I have stopped to behold a glimpse of natural beauty just to take a picture, adjust the filters a bit, and then share for others to see. The beautiful moment has passed, but the picture taking creates some other pleasure as well, a pleasure added to the immediate moment of beauty. When it comes to sharing on social media, each like I get gives me a dopamine boost. I wonder if that happens to you. That beautiful moment I took in becomes a tool for experiencing a different kind of joy, a kind of connection across time and space made possible by this technology we use. Francois Julian may have been criticizing the tourists that check off the witness beauty box on the to-do list, but I wonder if rather than criticizing that approach to beauty, maybe we can honor the intentionality that is put into even taking time, making time to witness the beautiful. Maybe it's okay to maybe it's okay to experience beauty on our list of to-do tasks for the day. And with time and intention, our experiences of the beautiful become the comfort and connection that we need. Elsewhere in his text, The Strange Idea of the Beautiful, Julian shares some history of Greek philosophers disagreeing about beauty. Refuting the Stoics, he writes, for whom beauty could only ensue from correct proportions and the symmetry of parts in combination with one another, Plotinus says that beauty, above all beauty of the body, can reside only in communion. Beauty resides only in communion, in the shared experience of one another, or one with nature, or one with God, one with the universe, or even as one turns within to have communion with oneself. And so even with the hard and painful moments of the week, a time of beholding so much pain, I want you to take a moment to bring to your mind now a time when you experienced the beautiful, a time when you felt in communion with beauty. You don't have to put pressure on yourself to remember the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. Just close your eyes or gaze off into the distance and try to bring to mind any moment of beauty. Breathe and relax into that image. Try holding it gently. If your mind wanders off, that's okay. Just call it back again and refocus on that beautiful moment. I would venture to guess that we are all imagining quite different things Maybe you're picturing a bouquet of flowers that rested in a vase on your table. Maybe you're picturing the face of a beloved. Maybe you're bringing to mind some graffiti art you walked by the other day. Maybe you're not picturing anything at all, but are instead hearing an orchestra play in your ears or feeling on your body the tight embrace of your sweet ones. Whatever you are picturing in this moment, I want you to remember that you can come back to this image, this moment, at any other time in your life. When things feel hard, when the news is too brutal to keep listening to, when it feels impossible to see anything beautiful, I invite you to come back to this moment you're visualizing. You are entitled to the beautiful. No matter what else is happening around you and in the world, you, me, and everyone else, we are each entitled to experience the beautiful. It is my hope that connecting back to this beautiful moment can offer you some comfort in the face of devastation. There are big actions that are needed and protests to be made. So too is it necessary for us to return to moments of beauty to sustain our struggle forward. During some of the different therapies I've tried out over this last year, working hard to get my brain to do the things I want it to, I learned an exercise that's been quite helpful for me. In dialectical behavioral therapy, the exercise is called Thoughts on a Stream. During hard times, it can be easy to fixate on terrible and unhelpful thoughts. Sometimes we start fighting those thoughts in our minds. I know I get caught up in that battle. The fight, though, can make the thoughts embed themselves even more deeply in our minds. Rather than fighting the thoughts, this exercise encourages us to let the thoughts move gently down the stream, or maybe let those thoughts flow down the river in your soul. Just as we ought not fight the painful thoughts, we also need to hold loosely to the beautiful ones. The harder we hold on, the quicker they may break free from our mind. We have much to learn from our Buddhist siblings about letting go of attachment and practicing deep mindfulness that allows each moment to be the moment that it is going to be. We are not defined by our thoughts, and we have the capacity to attend to them. Just like the labyrinth we heard about in our second reading, we can keep journeying in search of beauty we so desperately need and truly deserve. As we go about this journey, it's easy to feel so broken at times. This week certainly created brokenness in my heart, a heart that was already feeling a bit broken before. We know, though, that there is beauty in the broken. I found a poem a couple of weeks ago that I shared with another congregant that I want to share with you all. This is The Way It Is by Rosemary Watola Tromer. Over and over, we break open. We break, and we break, and we open. For a while, we try to fix the vessel as if to be broken is bad. As if with glue and tape and a steady hand, we might bring things to perfect again. As if they were ever perfect. As if to be broken is not also perfect. As if to be open is not the path toward joy. The vase that's been shattered and cracked will never hold water. Eventually, it will leak. And at some point, perhaps, we decide that we're done with picking our flowers anyway and no longer need a place to contain them. We watch them grow, just as wildflowers do, unfenced, unmanaged, blossoming only when they're ready, and my God, how beautiful they are amidst the mounting pile of shards. Can you feel the beauty amongst the brokenness? Even with all the heartbreak of this week, did you break open in a new way? Have you found new truths that create a beautiful tune in your mind? Have you encountered brokenness and responded by gently holding the broken pieces with another? There are no right words, but there is certainly right action. Leaning on one another, crying, raging, creating, cooking, simply being. It is all right action in the face of the unspeakable. And so I want you to bring back to your mind that beautiful moment that you had just a moment ago. The more you practice bringing beautiful images to mind, the easier it becomes. Find refuge in the beautiful. Even as we navigate the devastating, finding this refuge increases our capacity to be present. It is my prayer that you can feel comfort, safety, and nurturing love as you let beautiful experiences flow over and through you. Let it be so, and amen.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing hymn number 1007, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me I am somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me I am somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Rest your hands on your heart or clasp hands with those you're sharing your life with these days, and hear these words of benediction. Where there is beauty, amplify it. Where beauty is hidden, reveal it. Where beauty is ruined, restore it. Where beauty is absent,